Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
And 3.
Number 2.
All about 1.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we are back in America. Say no more.
Hey,
You're
welcome, bro.
welcome.
Should be especially grateful today.
Well, yeah. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. If Juan's tone is a little more disgusted,
It's a bit subdued.
Subdued and or disgusted as
it's Sunday, and just a few hours. Saints blew it a few hours ago. The most math I ever do in my life is watching a Saints game and trying to calculate how they're going to blow it. And once again, they did.
You start figuring out it can't pop. That's just scar tissue from decades and decades of. And those of you out there in America who aren't Saints fan, sorry. I am. Yeah, I was actually in Wisconsin this past week, and they asked me, "Oh, you going to stay for the game?" I was like, "Well, no, not really." That
true. Huh?
Would have been a baller move, but I mean, I'm not. I'm a fan, but I'm not a stay too many extra days in Wisconsin this year.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling I would have been totally
gravely disappointed.
Totally revolted and but
it was and you said you didn't watch it. They were up 17-0, and everybody, I don't know, you just got the vibe that they were doing great, but the defense was doing decent. But Green Bay was driving, they just end up shooting themselves in the foot.
I don't watch. We had the Texans game here, so I don't watch. I didn't have the Saints, but I do have fantasy football app, and the Saints are my defense, so I punch it up every now and then. I was like 17-0. Goes, man. I'm in my head 3-0, division leading. Like, man.
Everybody else was losing in the division.
And then later on, I punched it up and they're down. I'm like, what the? But then I see a clip at the end. I guess I'm watching like YouTube TV or something as I'm on a walk, and they cut away to the Saints lining up, which I'm sure going to be the game-winning field goal. And wide right.
Yep. There that little bitty field goal kicker dude who
there's happiness in Cheeseheadville, but there, you know what? 2-1. 2-1.
Not bad. Yeah.
The year started.
But Derek Carr went down though. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, we got Jameis, man. Don't worry. Jameis. What's his thing? His
the W's, bro. Eat the W's.
There you do it. Yeah. It's about time for Jameis to start eating some W's. Well, the only thing that would make Saints fans feel a little better about today is that Dallas lost.
Yeah, that was good.
To Arizona, and Sean Payton and the Broncos lost by 50.
The biggest deficit in modern football history. I think it was like mid-60s the last time somebody scored more than that.
They didn't get 50 points scored against them. They lost by 50. They scored 20 and lost by 50. 70 points, man. Miami had 2 running backs with 4 touchdowns apiece.
Yeah.
So hey, all right. This ain't a sports show, but there you go. That's why we're that was on top of mind when we
But I will comment on one other thing in sports, at least. Not a great weekend in Colorado for football, because Coach Prime also took it on the noggin yesterday.
Well, I saw a little bit of that one.
Dude, I think Colorado is now going to be, or Deion Sanders is going to be like Howard Stern used to be in radio. I would have never in my life watched a Colorado, Oregon football game. Mm-hmm. I watched that sucker yesterday. I was driving to pick up my wife at the airport, and I had my phone propped up on the dashboard so I could watch it. Hoping he would lose.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that I don't know why
Well,
where we are in America. Hey, no, let me say we've talked about this. I actually like the story. I like the stuff he's doing. It's just people. What is it today? And it's not just. It's the same thing the other day when the young lady that won the U.S. Open tennis tournament, and in the post after the win, it's a win. It should be the happiest day of your life. This should be like. And goes there like for all the haters and all the whatever. Like, is that where we are now? That everybody has to have nobody believed in us? Really? I've been watching commercials with your freaking face on it.
Yeah. That's the whole. It's everything is a personal slight to him.
And
the Oregon coach in his pregame speech to the team said, we're after wins, not clicks.
Yeah, I thought he was stupid, though. Don't get me wrong. I saw that speech.
Like I said, I don't know him either.
To me, it was a cringy speech. He came out of. He used to be a Georgia coach.
Well, but so now Dion, his post game is I'm keeping receipts, which I don't even know what that means.
You know what that means? Yeah, exactly. It don't mean nothing unless something happens and they eventually win something.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he's a decent coach, but he to quote him, he says he's the best football coach in college. I don't believe that. I think he's the best hype man in college.
Sure. Oh, but no doubt. Hey, exactly.
Yeah, he's like Flavor Flav of the NCAA.
Nobody gave a flip about Colorado.
No,
last year they were a 1-something team,
and they're on national TV again next week.
They gonna have national getting their butts kicked by USC. But hey, all right. So maybe there's something we should learn, Juan. Here we are saying what is it about this? It's not like this generation. He's closer to my age than but whatever.
My last bit of football news: if you have been under a rock for the past 24 hours, 48 hours, Taylor Swift was at the Kansas City Chiefs game today, cheering on Kelce in the suite with his mom. It's filling up my news feed for some reason.
I told like my fantasy football team I have Kelce as my tight end, right? So he's one of my top players. Yeah, and he's good. I texted my chain, the chain today, and I said, Kelce is my tight end. I hope he has 3 fumbles and goes for negative yards because I'm sick of this already. But again, hey man, we're the old guys shouting at clouds saying whatever. Like I said, Taylor Swift, I have more. I got respect for her I didn't have before. She's big. Well, what's funny is, so she came through Houston a couple months ago. Well, yeah, right. Your daughter.
Yeah, my wife and my daughter were there.
Sure. So massive. Well, Beyonce is having shows here. Same thing. So Beyonce is on which I think would normally be maybe the biggest tour of the summer or fall, right? But it's almost like an afterthought, right? I wonder if there's any. I told my wife yesterday we went pre-play, right? My son's play. So we went to get dinner at one of our favorite places, and it's probably 15-20 minutes from NRG Stadium, and all the pre-concert ladies were showing up, just packed.
All the single ladies,
all wearing shiny stuff. Some of them came in with like silver cowboy hats, and I don't know. I guess it's Taylor Swift. They're called the Swifties. I don't know what the Beyonce fans are. I mean, they're like the Bees or the.
I think they're the Bees. The Bumble. Maybe I think they're the Bees.
All right, there were a lot of them in the place we were at, man. Getting ready, and it was way before the concert. I was thinking to myself, y'all might be starting kind of early. I don't. Maybe not. I don't.
Well, Taylor Swift. I think we talked about it. Garth Brooks was at the Superdome a couple weeks ago. Didn't come close to selling it out.
Wait, no. Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, Garth played the Superdome. And it was not sold out?
No.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
That sounds impossible. Garth?
Taylor Swift is coming to the Superdome in late October of 2024. 3 nights.
Yeah.
Sold that baby out during pre-sale.
Hey, that tells you a couple things. It tells you that she's very good.
But it
and
also
she's
tells you
very
the
smart.
audience too, though. So
Exactly. But it also tells you that music sucks. People,
yeah.
people are starved. My wife tells me that she gets a kick out of the fact that a lot of the high school, she works with middle school and high school kids, and she says she gets a kick out of how many of them are really into some 80s music and talking about the stuff they're listening to and the Smiths.
Wow.
Yeah. And I forget, you told me another one the other day, like one of my goddaughter, something that she talked about she was all into. And
I wasn't even that big a Smiths fan.
I don't know. I think it was the Smiths. I could have been wrong. It could have been another obscure band
Yeah,
that I
but
don't pay much attention to. But yeah, so all right. So we put the sports stuff away, the band stuff. I'm more interested in the story about the 13.5-foot alligator
bruh.
that they killed, but only because the poor alligator apparently ate a woman. And I don't know that it was his fault. I don't know that I can blame the alligator.
Well, I just read something. I guess the latest on that. She had been written up multiple times for trespassing. So apparently
Trespassing.
she was an unhoused individual.
She was.
And had
She
been
was.
trespassing in like the wetlands.
And had been told, hey, you can't stay here. Yeah. What was interesting is so the first time I saw this, and this is before details, I done a screen shot of it. Said numerous authorities are currently on the scene. This is when it was happening, where a deceased body was found near a massive 13-foot alligator close to a pool of blood. That's unfortunate. Officials haven't shared more details about the incident, but confirmed the gator's involvement. So were they interviewing other alligators? You know what I'm saying?
He was just a spectator at the crime scene.
Yeah, that was Frank. Frank was always talking about he's going to eat somebody. Yeah.
Look, somebody needs to help this woman. Maybe if I just sit here for a while, somebody will notice me.
So they, I mean, they're never going to know what's the story. Look, there was a guy in Texas.
But they're trying to determine now, what I read a little while ago, is if she was deceased before,
right,
or because of. And no, I'm not trying to laugh at this. Yeah,
I'm not laughing at it either. But you know what? Shooting that alligator is not changing anything. Alligators are dinosaurs, right? And they're not. It's not like they.
Don't go into his house and kill him because he ate you.
Yeah. That's like the time. Remember years ago, the gorilla, whatever, Marumba, whatever, the gorilla, I believe, was in Cincinnati.
Somebody jumped in his cage.
Some idiot. No, it was like not watching their kid. Now, how can that happen? And a child ends up in the gorilla cage. Gorilla didn't do nothing. Cop showed up and shot him. Yeah. Like, it's like, come on, man. I
not
know
like it was saving anybody. I get it. If the alligator had the woman cornered or something, and the only way to save the woman.
And you weren't changing, and that's a little annoying too now, because the same thing here, man. We got I told you, I got alligators over here. Hey guys, you're not getting rid of alligators. They're just, if you live anywhere near water. And so no, I just got a kick out of they have confirmed that the alligator was involved. Don't know how, but it was involved. So my condolences to whoever. I mean, poor woman had issues. She wasn't old, like 41 years old. So she, issues and the rest things, and what a way to go.
Let this be a lesson to you folks. If you're gonna camp out,
let me
don't go in the alligator area.
Let me just go on record, y'all. If I find myself and I do something couillon enough, and I probably have, to be honest with you, a couple of times I did a couple around here, because we have one that big. Haven't seen it in a couple of years. Yeah, you've taken
pictures of it.
Taking pictures of it. We have one at least that big. And I've walked down near the edge of the water to get a picture of it across the canal. Okay, but it's not that big a canal. Now I always convince myself that if
alligators are fast, bro, they can run fast too.
Well, I know, but I was cocky. I think, well, I'll keep in mind. But here's the thing: one time I was there and I was taking a picture, and I was just like, obviously, this thing takes to the water. I'm going the other way, sprinting. Yes, he would have to sprint up. But then I thought, he might not be the only one here. I gotta here. They may be playing. They may be smart enough to be playing a trick on me. I'm gonna distract that.
He's gonna distract you.
Bring it over there.
Guys are taking cover.
But No. So I was like I said, in Wisconsin.
Yeah, how was that?
Wisconsin, a couple of things about Wisconsin. Super nice people. I say that when you hang around the South, New Orleans, the people that aren't thugs and stealing stuff, and New Orleans has a lot of nice people too. You realize when you go to hotels and restaurants in New Orleans and in the South in general, when you do a lot of traveling, it makes you oftentimes appreciate how nice people are typically in the South. Wisconsin's that way. Wisconsin's real friendly. I think is it Minnesota? Who's known for friendly? Is it Minnesota friendly? They talk about, anyway, getting off the plane and in Madison and welcome to Madison, welcome to like the plane people are welcome people in the airport, welcome to Madison. I'm like, really?
Are there any big cities in Wisconsin?
Yeah, you got Milwaukee.
Okay.
And they got it's all relative, right? Milwaukee's a decent sized city.
But I mean, Green Bay's small.
Green Bay small, yeah. Madison is a college town. It's but the interesting thing, so and shout out again to United, who's just awful. United, like last week, I got delayed and not stranded, but stuck in New Orleans for a while. Same thing. They're pulling that lie now. Making equipment changes, and they just come up with new lies. But when I was flying to, I had to connect in Chicago. It's okay. Then I'm sitting on this plane. And that's the one I was fortunate enough to get upgraded, but it's a small plane anyway. So I'm sitting toward the front so I can actually hear what's going on. And we were delayed because they were rebooting the software on the plane I was getting on. That there was a 25-year or so looking young lady with about a 35-year-old laptop. Looked like a laptop that was the size of a briefcase, sitting in the pilot's chair, rebooting the software or doing something to
on her Dell computer.
And then the pilot stands there and tells us, well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to get this thing done. And we're going to have to shut the plane completely off for a few minutes. And I'm like, man,
look, man, see, you work for yourself. When you call the IT department, the first thing they tell you, just shut that baby all the way down.
I was sitting there thinking, are they Control-Alt-Deleting this plane? What the heck are they doing? And if the Control-Alt-Delete don't work, you got to unplug it. But that's exactly what they did. And so by the time we're leaving, all I have in my head is, and then I'm looking at the pilot because once she had it all done and they didn't close the dang door, so I can literally see I'm 15 feet from him. I can see all the things he's having to reset, and he's typing this and he's talking.
Right.
To the
it's like, hey, bro, does that have did you upgrade Windows?
Exactly,
and maybe
man.
Upgrade all these things.
That's, did you get the McAfee antivirus on there? Help me out here. What, is there anything I can help you with? And then once the door closes and we're getting ready to leave, all I can think in my head is, man, I hope the landing gear software didn't have a glitch in it. I hope but yeah, we got there, and then on the way back, same thing. I got to wait for, I'm sitting there. I got to the airport early, which was probably a mistake, but I figured I'm going to do some work. I'm going to go sit myself in one of the restaurant bars, get comfortable. Right. And my flights ended up getting delayed. So I was like 7 hours hanging out in the Madison. Maybe, no, take it back. Maybe like 6 hours hanging out in the Madison, Wisconsin airport. That's not the worst place in the world, but it's and by the way,
no, go ahead.
That was a travel tip. Those travel secrets from Uncle Dave here. Those of you that flying, you don't fly often, so get the app of whatever airline you're flying. Right? I bet you Spirit even has an app. Did you have the Spirit app when you got on the plane?
I didn't. I just had the Spirit in me.
The Spirit. Okay. Well, whatever airline you're going to get on the app. Okay. Then when you look at your flight, you got your own flight, and it'll tell you if it's on time or not. Mm-hmm. Well, that's going to be a lie. Do not trust that. Never trust what they're telling you about your flight. What you have to do is go to the place that says, where is my plane coming from? Click on that, and it'll tell you the plane that's coming get you. Where's that thing at right now? Because guess what? If that thing is way late, you ain't leaving on time. Yeah. But they don't update it because they don't want people being all they don't want people taking things into their own hands, which what ends up happening. So like I'm sitting there waiting in
Heaven
Wisconsin.
forbid you'd get off of their flight and go on somebody else's.
Well, no, that's not what they want. They want to control, like they don't want you
To control the information.
booking later. Yeah. So I look at that and I'm like, wait a minute. The flight that's supposed to be coming to get us hasn't even left yet. They're waiting for a crew change or something. The lie started off with a crew change, then the lie turned into equipment change. And they just come up with whatever lies they can come up with. And then I'm realizing, and I know I got to go to Chicago and catch a connection. So I'm realizing there's no way in the world that this plane that I'm waiting on is going to get to Madison, Wisconsin in time to get us on it and get me back to Chicago and catch the flight I'm supposed to be on. So here's what, if I do that, I'm going to get back to Chicago and I'm going to be in a cattle call, like a zoo trying to get right. So I have not called an airline in forever. And but here's another hint, guys. Do not look on the app. Like if you're trying, whether it's United, Delta, whatever, don't look around their website or their app for a phone number because they don't want to talk to you. Go online, Google this crap or DuckDuckGo this crap and find what the number is. So I end up talking to some lady and I tell her what's going on. And she said, well, it's showing your flight's on time. I'm like, look at the flight that's come and get me. And I'm literally explaining to some lady sitting there. Took about 15 minutes on the phone explaining things.
Dude, a couple of weeks ago, you were explaining things to a pilot on a plane.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I'm a wealth of information. But I finally got my flight changed. So I got booked on another United flight, just flying a little later, giving myself more time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the last flight out of Chicago to Houston that night. And about 5 minutes after I go through this and get it done, the young lady over at the desk where I was sitting maybe, 50 feet away, whatever, starts making the announcement about, well, ladies and gentlemen, and if you can, go to the app and try to change it. She's explaining to them what's going on. And if you have a connection in Chicago, and I was just like, man, I can see the future. I'm sitting there partly feeling bad for people and partly like, there you go.
Yeah, here's the number.
And didn't land in Houston until like midnight or so. But I know, first world problems, man. First world problems.
Well,
but
I tell you who's not nice people though is people on airplanes who are trying to get off of airplanes. My wife and daughter flew. They went to Florida for a recruiting trip, and they flew back yesterday. And the first leg of their flight was late. They were on American, not Spirit.
Let's dog all the airlines. They all suck.
Yeah. So they flew from Fort Myers, Florida to Charlotte, North Carolina to go to New Orleans.
Okay.
But so they're late. Yeah, they probably got 20 minutes to make their connection. So, when the plane's taxiing to the gate now, once it's landed, it's sure to say, hey, look, if you don't have a tight connection, please stay seated and let the people who do exit the plane first. Nah, ain't nobody doing that, man.
That bothers me. Now, you don't know, like sometimes other people have connections, but hey, if your connection's in 2 hours,
yeah,
chill for a second. Let these.
I just love the people who stand up even 10 minutes before the door opens.
If I'm on an aisle, I am.
Yeah.
I've been sitting long enough, man. My butt hurts. I gotta get up. I'm not gonna cut in anybody's way.
They made it though, but it was still, forget you. I'm standing up. Sitting
in the I don't want to make it sound like I was sitting in the airport bar. I was sitting next to one of the airport bars, but I had a table, had my laptop set up, and I just set up shop.
Access to the airport bar.
I had that. Well, it was, you could bring you food and or some beers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and thinking this is going to be an expensive, right? You just have a couple few beers in an airport, man. It's like being at a football game. It's pretty ridiculous. But while I'm sitting there, I just saw some woman quit.
At the bar?
Well, I know she was like a waitress, whatever. I had enough of this. I quit. I'm out of here. And I'm like looking at the other people. I'm like, huh. Let me watch how this happens. What goes down here? And she walked out, she disappeared. And a little bit later on, another lady came out and talked to the young guy that was serving my, says, "Hey guys, we're negotiating. Hey, can you stay today? Like, I know you're supposed to be knocking off." And it's just,
yeah, we're a little shorthanded all of a sudden.
I don't know that I've ever, I don't know. I know I've been mad enough to at places to want to quit. I don't think I've ever been where like I'm just from personal pride, just
No,
walk out
yeah,
in the middle of a shift.
I
You know
don't
what I'm
have the
saying?
guts to do that. I don't have the guts to just quit and leave,
It just
even if it's
seems,
not that.
and don't get me wrong. I could see end of the day, I could say like, hey, I ain't coming back tomorrow, or I could see
Yeah,
doing that. And believe me, I've worked at some places, or I've worked for some people that, man, I would have really loved to jam up. Okay, but it just never seemed like we were raised different too. We were
right.
raised
You
where
think about it, and then it's just like I've quit jobs where I've said, you know what, man, whenever I get another job, the 2 week notice I put here is going to be the easiest 2 weeks of my life because I'm not doing a thing.
well
And
the
then it
fact,
kind of like, but it gets down to it, like you bust your butt just to set them up for when you leave.
yeah, well, because we always in our heads figure, man, I don't want people talking about me. I don't want
Yeah.
to be there. But guess what? They're not. They
No, they
people might
forgot
talk
about you
about.
when you hit the door.
Well, apparently the younger generations, they just flat out don't give a flip. They've been
Mm-mm.
programmed that they don't believe anything they've done before
No,
matters.
never held
You know,
against me. Nobody checks it.
and it, I mean, the pendulum may swing another time, and apparently the last few years it's been the case. It's you just show up,
Yeah, I
right?
told you. Where I work, there are people. We hire extra people just to be able to fire people. Like get them trained up, and all right, and I get rid of those other two.
It's, I can't find that incompetent yet.
Right,
But man, as soon as I got the, yeah,
get 5 extra just in case.
well, good news. Good news for employers everywhere, as there are millions of new people coming across. Apparently, you know,
From what I gather, they're able-bodied and willing to work.
I am. Yeah, that's what you think. I saw in New York of all the people
And
in New York.
if the guys from what I hear, the ones with the red armbands need some cash quick. So
Okay, all right.
those are
Yeah,
the
it's
ones that are
well,
or have,
well,
I guess, the cartels have brought in so that they owe them
oh
some
yeah.
money.
Well, I'm here in Texas, okay, and we're ground zero
All you
for.
selfish people who don't want nice,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, so we're ground zero for this, and it's just a head scratcher. Like our governor. Well, I met him before he was governor. I met him when he was lieutenant governor, actually here in Sugar Land. Met the guy. He's not the worst, but he ain't all that. But so apparently we've declared. So apparently Texas has declared that we're being invaded. Right. That's an official. This is where we're living. This is the world we're living in right now. The state I'm living in has declared that we are under invasion. Our state is being invaded, and therefore we need to. And it's the weirdest thing. It's you're fighting your own government.
Yeah, cut down that barbed wire fence. Forget that flotilla.
Because honest to goodness, if they really, and I don't know how big the Texas National Guard is, it's pretty big, and there's a lot of law enforcement in Texas, and other states have sent National
Mm-hmm.
Guard here. I'm just thinking if they would say, "Hey, look, Texas hunters, we're going to waive your fees for life. Get your stuff, get on down. We're going to assign you. We even set you up in deer stands."
Right. It could be like alligator season where you get a certain number of tags.
We're just saying we don't necessarily want you to shoot anybody. Just make it obvious that you are prepared, right, to even do some night hunting. I know we don't let you guys hunt at night because that's illegal. I'd be like, you get some cages down there with the big old bulleyes on. Hey, don't start none, won't be none. But so that's so maybe that'll cure some of your employment.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
do you see in New York where I saw the stat where I forget how many hundreds of thousands of, I don't even know what the term is. What are we calling them? Can you call them illegals? We all
I
refer to
call
them
them
as,
illegals.
Yeah. So I mean, whatever. Sorry if that whatever
the non-documented visitors.
The guest, the hundreds of thousands of undocumented guests we have. I think I read where something like 1.5%, 2% have applied for work visas.
Yeah, yeah, and they're blaming Texas, but very few of them have, in the scheme of things.
Man, we got 1 million plus here already, all over. Like, I'm sorry, and we're not the ones hanging things saying, "Hey, come on, y'all come here." Same thing. But that's the New York.
But if there's 1 million in New York, not 100,000 of them have come from Texas. So
but
they're going to get some federal money and declare a state of emergency. And,
you see where New York? They showed on the subway. They've got a like a RoboCop kind of deal.
Oh, I saw the headline. I didn't read
like a big dumb garbage can or something. And I'm guessing it has cameras on it. I don't know yet. I don't think it's armed. But what a joke! What a freaking joke! I don't even care what it costs. It doesn't even cost that much, I don't think. But like, oh wait, you're gonna deal with crime now on the subway with a big trash cone looking. Seriously? Like, people get stabbed and shot.
Yeah, it's gonna be danger.
And I read somewhere where they had one a few years ago that fell into a fountain and shorted out and drowned or something.
Somebody ain't going to get a quarter. They got electrocuted.
Yeah. So, and as soon as they get that thing out there, people are good. They're gonna rip it. They're gonna rip it for wires. They're gonna.
But if there's any copper in that baby, it's done.
Yeah. I know. Try that in New Orleans. Roll out one of them RoboCops in New Orleans.
Yeah, if it's got a catalytic converter on it, it's not even making it the day.
Yeah, they're going to get wires ripped out, and it's going to end up in a music video. They're going to end up going to be a music video about how they did that. But there you go. So watch somebody quit. What else we're looking at? Oh, and just, again, I guess airport stuff, just stuff pops up. This guy named David Brooks. You may have heard of David Brooks. The name might ring a bell. He's a very well-known, I guess, New York Times columnist or something. But and again, it's the bubble these people live in, this arrogant, total arrogance. And he was complaining about an airport meal, right? He was in an airport, I guess, Newark. I've been to the Newark airport many times. And he shows a picture of it. I don't know if I'm going to show it later on or not, but it's a burger, fries. And he puts this on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now. This meal just cost me $78 at Newark airport. This is why Americans think the economy is terrible, right? That meal. And then the restaurant and others pointed out 80% of your bill was the drink. He was drinking whiskey. He was drinking, his bar tab was 80% of that meal, right? And in the picture, you can see, you can tell about like a glass with whatever kind of
an adult beverage.
An adult beverage. That's when you balling, dude. If you're drinking adult beverages and not just beer and wine, because that's ridiculous. You're drinking highballs in an airport. Probably call brand stuff. And if you're going to do that, and the guy makes a lot of money, I'm sure, go ahead and do that. But don't try to shame anybody and say, "Oh, this is why America thinks, things are out of control." Bro, you drank $52 worth of whiskey right there. Come on, now.
$18 burger in an airport isn't that bad.
And you get programmed. And in the Madison, Wisconsin airport, you can walk around with a drink. Just for those of you that want to know that, don't ask me how. I'll tell you how. I finished my work and everything, and I decided to go get near the gate. And then I'm sitting in a chair off to the side, and some gentleman sits next to me. We struck up a conversation. Nice guy. And I noticed the cup he had. You don't normally see somebody walking around with a plastic cup with looks like Coke, like a Coke or something.
Yeah,
and I looked at him. Yeah, I said, "Pardon me for asking. Is that like a drink? Like you'd walk around with that in here?" He goes, "Yeah." So I looked at him and said, "You mind watching my bags?" I hate to watch a guy. We're sitting waiting on a delayed plane.
Well, so. Hey, follow up on continuing the travel sagas. When I was in Michigan last week, I had texted you from the hotel because I was having problems with the thermostat. It was a nice hotel. I mean, it's Fairmont by Marriott or whatever. But and I've said this before that, if somebody else is paying the air conditioning bill, well, I guess I'm technically paying it, but I'm making that baby cold. So we kept waking up during the night and the air conditioner was off. It was a thermostat at the air conditioner. And you'd read it was off. I'd kick it back on. So the next morning I went to the desk and said, hey, yeah, I'm thinking there's something with the programming on this thermostat. It just keeps cutting off during the night. So it seemed to run fine during the day. And she said, yeah, people have told us that. I said, well, how do you fix that? And, oh yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it's great. Well, so
here's what we figure: you're leaving. We don't care.
Yeah. So I Googled the brand of the thermostat is Verdant, VERDENT or something like that.
Those of you that are taking notes at home, Verdant.
Right. And so if you ever get one, but the first thing I did put hotel thermostat in Verdant. Well, it comes up with multiple listings for it, that it's got an occupancy setting or occupancy detector setting. So, which is a motion detector.
God, I hate those things.
But when would you? Okay, so I'm not moving around a lot when I'm sleeping.
Correct.
So that's what kept it cutting off.
Oh, I see. I've stayed in hotels where the lights are on those. That's a pisser. When you like, you're just sitting there and the lights start going out. Like, wait a minute, do I have to wave my hands? Go put a quarter in the machine to keep the lights on in this thing. But that makes no sense.
No, it's 0 sense
at all.
So I found a YouTube video on how to override that boy, and I took it apart and fixed it.
There you go. I don't want to. Yeah, good for you. Did you get it worked out?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Froze my butt off the next night.
So the next occupant of that room.
You're welcome.
You should have just put a little tag on there. You're welcome. Let them figure out. I had mine was a little grosser problem I had in my hotel room in Wisconsin. So the next day, thankfully didn't do this till I was getting ready to leave, right? But the lavatory, the sink. By the way, if I told you a lavatory, do you know what that is?
I do. I think the technical word for it is lavatory. I don't know. I call a sink in a bathroom a lavatory.
I call it a lavatory because when I told her,
are you saying it with a V or a B?
I say it with a V.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Yeah,
I'm not saying I know it's not a laboratory. I don't know.
But if you said the bathroom, if you said the bathroom lavatory, I would hear.
I said bathroom lavatory.
Yeah.
No, okay. So you would think, that wasn't like an odd word when I eventually told that to the front desk people, and she's looking at me like, I'm talking pig Latin, and I'm like,
here's the definition of it: a room or compartment with a toilet and wash basin. So I just use the
sink. They say the lavatory. Oh, so they would refer to a bathroom as a lavatory,
right?
Like would they consider like an airport? I mean, an airplane bathroom, the lavatory. Well, that's
they said it's a slightly formal way to say bathroom. Most people would never refer to this room in their own homes as a lavatory.
Well, there you go.
I use it to say, I call that the sink.
Bruh, let me tell you something. Maybe that's a value thing.
Well, here's another definition in Merriam-Webster's.
I know
the meaning of lavatory is a vessel such as a basin for washing.
There you
especially a fixed bowl or basin with running water.
Thank you. All right. There you go. Webster. Boom. Wish I'd have had that knowledge with me, Juan. I said, man, I'm using a Webster dictionary freaking word. Not no Wikipedia made up crap. This is in Webster. Anyhow, so it clogged. It wouldn't drain. And you don't think that's a big deal until you realize, well, wait a minute. I gotta wash my hands, brush my teeth. Gross. And I'm like, I am not, well, maybe it'll go. If you've ever unclogged your own.
Right.
Dude, like even when you know that stuff came from you and your family, you freaking like, and Ain't no way.
I had one that was slow the other day, and I had to use a pair of pliers to pull it out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
to
you
get the
should
little
see the
stopper
stuff.
out. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
never in a public
It's
restaurant
no,
or
no.
even a
Oh,
hotel.
100%. So man, I ended up and I had the bathroom it was a walk-in shower. It wasn't a tub.
Mm-hmm.
They don't put tubs. By the way, if you notice, they don't put tubs in hotels anymore. They figured that out. Like that's just ridiculous.
Gross.
It's gross. It's an accident waiting to happen. No sane person takes a bath
I
in a
know a
hotel.
lady who works. She's one of my direct reports at work. And if she has to travel and stay in a hotel, she'll take a bath, but she puts a towel on the bottom of the tub. And I said, well, when that towel is wet, whatever germs are underneath it are just floating up.
Oh my! Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So yeah. So I end up for the half day until I left so I brushed my teeth, like rinsing in the shower, like just leaning over, brushing my teeth, spitting in the shower, wash, and then I got more manners than most people because I'll at least like rinse everything
Rinse
off.
it out.
I'm not just gonna be like spitting toothpaste and leaving it on the same
Spit
thing.
it on the glass.
Washing my hands in the shower, and that thing was just clogged. Ugh, right? I got grossed out just knowing. Like, how old is
Well,
this?
you didn't try to get him to fix it?
I was leaving, man. I was not.
Okay.
It happened the morning. I spoke that morning, and then I was back. I had to get up, get ready, put a suit on, go do a.
It's still just grossing me out thinking about it.
Man, look, that's the thing. When you're traveling, you gotta turn your gross filter off. Just realizing these rooms, and it just, I'll never go barefoot. Man, I don't want my feet touching anything.
I go barefoot. Maybe I won't now.
No, man, no, dude. A hotel. Even when my kids were young, I'd be like, "Oh, they're crawling around or walking barefoot around."
It'd give me the frissons, bro.
Dude, sit your butt down in a hotel lobby for any amount of time and watch the people that go through, push the elevator, and go up to a room, and then ask yourself, "You want to sleep in a bed that guy just slept in?" No, you don't. You want to share,
and they don't wash those comforters that often.
Yeah, I try to put that out my mind. I don't know. Sometimes I walk by and I see them like doing a good
think that's
cleaning
now
on their
that
own.
most of them, or a lot of them, have it's almost like a comforter in a bag, so to speak, and they just wash the bag.
I prefer not even to think about this stuff. Sometime I just, it is what it is. Sorry for those of you that travel tips. It's just travel tips, man. I'm also annoyed now the hotels that don't give you a bar of soap for the shower. It's all the pump bottles. They got bottles on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Just not.
So my daughter, where they stayed at this weekend, was it was a Marriott, so it's the same as the Fairmont chain. And they had the same kind. She was just talking about how good it smelled, so she was looking it up online. And it's like a Marriott brand, and it's like $30-40 a bottle, and not a big bottle, like 8 ounces. I said, well, next time you just bring you a couple of empty bottles and you pump those babies up.
You're talking to the guy that did hardware work on a thermostat in a hotel room.
That's right. Take my if I get a good pillow there, it's coming home with me.
Dude, whenever I stay at a decent place, I can tell you, I'm the guy. Sometimes in the bathrooms, if they got the little mini packs of Q-tips, that's going in my shaving kit.
You're paying for that. Why not?
I used to be the sewing kits. Some of these nice rooms used to have sewing kits. That's coming.
If you happen to be in a room now that they clean it on a regular basis, and make sure you load up each day so they can restock you.
They don't do the rooms anymore. Like most hotels you go to, they basically tell you, we'll do towel service if you want them, or come get them.
But we did where we were last week. It said to leave the towels on the floor if you wanted them changed. I guess you got to call them to change it, because we left the towels on the floor. Got back that night and they were still there.
Do you ever just raid the maid's cart in the hallway?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. If I see
all
it,
I do.
grab it.
All I do. And I think at first
Hey,
trips when
I'll
my kids
throw
were
the
younger.
dirty ones in her cart.
Oh no, I won't do that. I don't care if they pile up in the bathroom because I'd rather have piled up damp towels on the floor to walk on than the freaking floor. So
Walk barefoot.
I'm okay with that, and just give us more towels to throw around the bed. But that's what so my wife, like many years ago, would sort of not give me grief, but she would kind of like, I can't believe you're going. And then later on in life, she'd be all happy. I'd be like the hunter coming back from the hunt. You know,
I mean, it's not like you're
she was
stealing them.
exactly. And I'd walk back. And it's a lot of times I don't like, I prefer if the person is with the cart to say, hey, I'm in room whatever. I don't need service, but I need this. And a lot of times they'll just they're happy not to have to go clean that room.
Right.
They'll
You
just load
cutting
you
them a
up.
deal.
They'll just load you up with whatever, or the coffees, you know. And what is it about that? I don't know. It's they always give you, I don't know if you're a coffee drinker even, but you know,
I'm not.
they gave you 2 normal coffees. They always give you 2 normal and 1 or 2 decaf. And I promise you, those decafs are the same ones that have been there since 2017, because nobody drinks nasty decaf coffee in the hotel. Like, man. So that's what I read too. A lot of times it's like, yeah, I need a couple more towels and give me about 5 or 6 of those coffees. Yeah, but you know, they're still making money.
Yeah, a lot of it.
I got my bill from the Mercantile. I say I got my bill. So the Mercantile where I stayed, which I recommend, by the way, I said that the other time. If you're looking for a nice place to stay in New Orleans,
Yeah, let me write that down because I was actually trying to think of that today.
the Mercantile. It's a nice, nothing really fancy, but kind of nice. The rooms are great. People are fantastic. Free breakfast in the morning. Not a terrible breakfast either. You know, they got various, you know, but it's but I started getting, I paid for 3 different rooms for 3 nights. So, and I'm getting random like I should be better at being able to figure out a bill, but then they credited me some stuff. So I pulled up my credit card bill today, and dude, I'm bad. I'm just like, I added up all the debits and credits and I went, that looks about right. They could have put random stuff on there because I didn't do an itemized.
Yeah, close enough, man.
But the other thing, city of New Orleans, well, it's all cities, but city of New Orleans is one of the worst. Whatever you think that room is costing you, think again. Bro, when they start throwing this
hospitality tax and
I was wondering about that. That's the city is built on tourism, and apparently they can't tax you enough to keep people. But now I guess crime will do it. And still, how's the infrastructure? Crap. Yeah, it's just like eventually, you know, you pay even after all the bribes, y'all can spend some of that money on the street.
It's because they don't spend it on the right things. They spend it where they want. I've said this before too. My daughter goes to a private school that's, one of the probably highest tuition in Baton Rouge, and public schools here are largely crap. Facilities are crap. But if you add up the fees in state tax and in local tax and in federal tax that go to the school system, the per student rate is about the same as what I pay in tuition.
Oh, I mean, for like what all the taxes. Now, I don't know if you guys are set up like we are. So here in the great state of Texas, which has declared we are being invaded, it's a fact. It's a fact. Governor said, hey, it's getting real. Our taxes are weird this way. We pay, like, we literally, it used to be cut a check. Now it just might be, I think we still physically write a check because the fewer people possible I can give my bank account information to, right? Like, electronically. Yeah. Like even when I pay my taxes, I still write the check, physically write the check. I know they can come in and grab whatever they want, but I want to, no. I ain't giving you any kind of electronic nothing. I'm writing it down on paper. We have to write a check to the local school district. So,
wow,
big check. Probably the biggest check we pay in taxes goes to
property taxes. You got a separate school tax? Separate.
So even at the time, and my kids were later homeschooled. They were homeschooled in high school. One was middle school through high school, then one went to a private school. And this is not throwing shade anywhere. Trust me. private school, the one private school in Fort Bend County, which is not a small place, whatever tuitions are, pretty high tuition. Okay. So that's when you're just trying to pay. The school wasn't any better. And it was basically just something you'd pay to lower the possibility of getting stabbed. I think that's sort of like stabbing insurance. But you go to school with some rich knots, and there's other issues there. It's not. So I don't know that it was a plus. But I was thinking about that while I was there. I'm paying money to send my kid, like paying a lot of money to send my kid to a school, and I'm also having to pay a ton of money.
Send somebody else's kid to school.
To schools that I'm not, nothing to do with. But that's
it's the structure of our beautiful system.
It's what we do. But yeah. So what was that? Oh, I saw in New Orleans, they're trying to start a panic on the water. Do you see where?
Oh yeah, because it's salt water,
salt water intrusion.
The intrusion.
Because there hasn't been enough rain, or that heat wave, and there's not been enough rain up north. So the Mississippi River is not pumping as much water as it should. So there's, right? I don't even know. Here's the sad part. Just on general principle, I don't believe anything they tell us anymore. So like the governor of Louisiana was saying, historic.
Everything's historic, dude.
Whenever, hey, y'all, pro tip. Whenever anybody says historic, just stop them. Meaning, I had breakfast this morning.
A couple of weeks ago when Grambling and LSU played. Historic. I'm saying I had breakfast this morning. It was historic. You know why? Because it was in history. In history, I had excellent point.
So my breakfast this morning is historic. So that's crap. What do you mean? Give us some, because they don't have it's nonsense. It's like this has never happened
recently.
And define recently, right? Yeah. That's the thing too. Or right now, there's a little science. I don't know, and apologies to any of my science teachers in school if you ever talked about this and I was just not paying attention. But apparently, so I jotted this down. Right now, we're in a stage of, and when I say right now, this could be several months, maybe as much as close to a year, where planets circle the sun. Mm-hmm. And here's a news flash for those who don't know it. Our sun may be the sort of the center of our solar system. It is not the center of the universe. So our sun is also rotating. And I forget who it was that said it. It might have been Newton or way back in the day that figured as the planets go around our sun, sometimes they kind of get stacked up. So they'll get where more planets are on one side of the sun than others. It's slightly out of equilibrium. And right now, Jupiter, Saturn, Earth, Venus, Uranus, and Neptune are all pulling. So the sun is literally kind of wobbles closer to us. It's just, that's what happens. Now, thankfully, it doesn't wobble enough to incinerate us, but so you start talking about things that cause heating. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. We're not sitting in a perfect locked rotation.
But
nor the other planets.
So have you ever heard that before? Have you ever, like, anybody ever brought that up or talked? I mean, and when I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes total freaking sense. And the same thing I'm reading talks about how every now and then the jet stream shifts.
Yeah,
it happens. Happened in the 1930s, caused a great famine in Europe. I mean, it's been a little shifted, and then it shifts back and it gets colder, and that was sort of on my mind recently because Frankenstein, what's his face, John Kerry, that guy, how much work you think he's had done on his face at this point? I mean, the dude literally looks like he's wearing a John Kerry mask now. Like when he ran for president, and they would say like Halloween, they would sort of kind of figure out who had the best chance of winning by who sold the most Halloween masks. Well, it looks like John Kerry is now literally wearing a John Kerry mask. But he was out there talking, and one of the challenges is 33%, a third of the emissions, harmful emissions on the planet involve farming. These guys want to start cutting back and putting restrictions on the growing of food.
And I'm thinking about 99.9999% of survival in the world. Food.
Most of the planet is in far, far greater danger of hunger and starvation. Most societies are in far greater danger of falling apart by lack of food. Oh, by the way, don't turn your nose up. That's about to happen in Chicago. You see where the Chicago mayor came out and they want to start running some city-run grocery stores because all the stores are leaving? Why are they leaving? Why are they leaving?
City's terrible. That crime.
They're getting robbed left and right. I mean, look, when you got these chain stores that say, hey, we can't do this. Well, first of all, it's hard to find employees who want to just work at Robbery Central, and we can't even keep the shelves stocked. So they pull out. So that's the answer. Can you imagine what a city run?
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Be fantastic.
Yeah, go buy. It's like buying your groceries at the DMV. Take a number.
We out of that. Try again. We out of that. Try again. Yeah. So the other one I was reading the other day, and it might have been the John Kerry thing or something else. And I don't want to offend anybody because I know some people who have children, young men and women that are going into careers, engineering stuff. And one of the big things now is carbon capture. And I was reading this thing about, when it does, taking, capturing carbon in the air and converting it or bringing it in. And I'm just reading that saying it's called a tree. What a freaking tree does. Like, you want to see the greatest carbon capture in the world? It's a tree. You drive by a forest, ride a boat through a swamp. You know what those trees are doing? Capturing carbon, bruh.
They're breathing the carbon.
But we're gonna spend hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, and they've had stuff. I mean, I've seen those guys testify and everything. And Kennedy's one of the ones who's on, I guess conducting the interviews or taking the testimony. And it's like, okay, you want us to spend X dollars, X billion and trillion dollars, and can you tell me how much is gonna impact things? It's gonna help. But can you tell me how much before we ask people to spend their money on this? How much is it gonna help? We don't have an exact number. Yeah. What about if China and India continue to do their stuff? If the United States goes to zero carbon, how much will that help? Probably not a lot.
Yeah, he's pretty good when he's not stretching store. Yes, when he's not doing the foghorn leghorn stuff, she's a sharp guy. I mean, he's good, but just spend every dime we. Well, I don't know. All right, we're old guys shouting at the clouds now, y'all. I don't even want to run anymore. I used to say I got to run for I ain't want to run anymore. Can't fix it all.
So before we get out of here, I want to mention one more bit of sports related news.
Man,
we should have started with this. This year's Super Bowl halftime performer.
Oh, I think I saw this. Who is it?
Usher. Bro, how many people did you think they had to get turned down before they hit up Usher?
Man, tell me, was like Starship busy?
It's gonna be a historic performance, though.
I'm guessing Triumph was didn't take the call. Usher. Hey, look. Don't get me wrong. They didn't ask us. He better hope that Taylor Swift doesn't decide that now that she's, dating or, well, whatever. I think they're both. Well, I got a lot more respect for her than I do for him. I'm tired of him. He's become a bit much. But Usher, I couldn't name you an Usher song, dude.
No.
I think I know 50 Cent had, was it In the Club or was your birthday?
Yeah, In the Club. Yeah, it's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday.
Is that the same song?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it is.
No idea.
That's
no idea.
Song.
Should call my son about that. By the way, my son's radio show this and I was
Dude, I was in bed Thursday night when you texted me with that.
He was outstanding. So
good.
He was. I only got to catch about 40 minutes of it before my plane took off, and I couldn't. United sucks, by the way. I couldn't even get the Wi-Fi to work to listen, but I got to hear the beginning of it. But yeah, he played.
Did some more guitar stuff.
Oh yeah. Here's the one thing funny. And it was actually a funny line that I probably worked, but not as good as it should have, because he said, "Well, I'm going to play this next song." And this is what if you go to Guitar Center, there are signs, or sometimes signs. This will get you thrown out of Guitar Center. And he went into Stairway to Heaven, but he played it so well, I thought it was the beginning of Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. And then he stopped and said, "Well, that's actually a little better than you're probably going to hear at the Guitar Center." And then he went into the actual Stairway to Heaven, and I'm like, and it just dawned on me, like, oh crap. I even texted him. I said, "Dude, you played the intro too well. I thought that was the beginning."
Is he micing the guitar?
I think he's just probably dropping the mic.
Yeah, studio mic.
And you can hear. Yeah, he's playing an acoustic. He did Stairway to Heaven. He did Wonderwall. What was the other one? Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Nice. Speaking of people playing 80s and 90s music.
Oh, and Master of Puppets.
Oh, wow.
Now, the only downside about that is my mom, she loves us all, and she listens to my son.
Darn right she does. Darn right she does.
She's there on Radio FX listening to and she's not a big Metallica fan. And she'll say, I like listening to him. He's good, but I'm not a big fan of Metallica. So my mom suffers through Metallica songs to listen to. And she also gave me some grief. She said, "I heard what you said about his show. It was last week." She goes, I hope he doesn't listen to y'all, because you said he wasn't very good right now." I said, "Mom, no, I said he's great. Parts of it are great. Nobody's good starting off. He did his third show, and I promise you it's better than anything they got right now." Yeah. So of course, I mean, I'm biased, but it's actually true.
Yeah.
But and I don't think he's played a single song any of us have suggested so far.
No, really ever. If they were on his list, once we suggested them, they got scratched.
I just wanted to play Van Halen Little Guitars. I just love that. That's a good song. So he played Panama instead. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't like Panama.
Panama's a great song, but
it just became, I don't know. It's like when bands have
been played 17 million times on the radio.
Right. It's not it wasn't a sellout song, but it just became too commercial.
I'm running. And that's actually the genius of Gabriel Lee Roth. To this day, you really don't know what he's singing. Yeah. Right? It's like, here's what it is. But there you go. Radio reviews. You know what, man? I'm looking out there and thinking, I think the buffet has been laid out.
Right. It's a good buffet for,
we had some sports. We had some whining about politics. Hotel room fiascos.
Alligators, travel tips.
There you go. I'll think of whatever it was we really wanted to talk about as soon as we push the button and get on out of here. And there you go, guys. Hey, if you want to find us, just like Dion, except we didn't get beat by 40-something to nothing, right?
We're after clicks, bro. We want the click. Yeah, we're okay. We're after clicks.
And just like his shirt, I ain't hard to find, or ain't hard to find. Well, Oregon
we gotta be careful. We got to be careful with that, because he's trying to copyright some of his phrases.
Really? Well, I mean, you can still say them. I ain't gonna sell anything with it on there. Hey, if you want to find us, y'all, it's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. And
wherever you found us this time, we'll be there next time.
That's right. Maybe back on the regular schedule. Hopefully we're back on the
I think we're there.
We're trying to do it every week. But now you can say it along with us. It's not a suggestion. It's not a hint. We are not subtly implying jack. Y'all,
no, man.
It's a freaking
mandate, bro.
We are giving you a mandate to get out there and live your best life, man. Go for it. Take your shot.
Look, man, Dave's living in a state that's under invasion, and
officially,
he's living his best life.
We have declared we being invaded, bro. Get the chicken wire, the razor wire. Get on down here. So things may go great, and if they are, high five. Things go bad, you know what? Wake up tomorrow, take your shot. As much as I'm criticizing Travis Kelce, he took his shot.
Yeah, he won.
You know what? He had Taylor Swift in his suite. He's got his own suite in Kansas City.
With his mama.
Yeah, what do we do? I tell you what, that Campbell soup money must be rolling in. That Campbell chunky soup money just must.
You think Mom's got one in Philadelphia too, where his brother plays?
Might be. Hope there. Hey, and get well soon, David Carr. So I hope that not David, Derek Carr, right?
Derek Carr. Yeah.
Hey, I'm from here. David Carr there. So yeah. If not, let's all make the W's, y'all.
We're eating some W's.
Y'all eat some W's with Jameis.
We're gonna be eating something.
And y'all get ready, because when they bring Taysom Hill into the game, they got 1 or 2 plays they're gonna run.
Dude, that was one. Jonathan Vilma was the announcer today, and he said that when Taysom Hill's in the game, it's like just like the Saints are running 2 different offenses. I said, no, I think he misspoke. He meant 2 different plays.
2 different plays. The world knows what's coming. The world knows that, he is never in where he's not touching the ball.
No.
Don't even like fake it out. Like that would be the greatest fake. Like that's when you want to like fake it and go. Oh, never mind. I mean, we're going. Yeah. We started with that. We're going to end with that. Right. We're out, everybody. You guys have a fantastic week. Love you, bro.
Back at you, dude. See my dad again today, and he was telling me how much the people love him at the old folks, not the old folks, Council on Aging, because he's back to giving people, when he wins too much in bingo. Yeah, he'll he won 3 times the other day, and sometimes he'll give the extra win to the caller.
Oh, so you got to watch that though. They could think you're cheating. Well, you get right.
He says, some people play 3 cards, but he's not greedy, so he only plays 2. Trying to give other people a chance.
He only plays 2.
Yeah, good. And he's telling me about somebody he saw the other day, and he said, that boy could have had a sheep could have run through his legs. He's talking about how bull-legged it was.
It's like, gee, Dad, you're gonna be throwing shade at 87. How 80? How old?
89.
Yeah, 89-year-old throwing shade.
And the person you saw about was actually my cousin's husband. So, who was bringing him some fish?
Man, don't make fun of somebody bringing you fish.
Yeah. You could run a sheep through his legs.
It's over. Go home.